Hi everybody, that's me again. So yesterday I posted a video in which I viciously and tirelessly sobbed about amplified terrain going away forever. The stuff is so cool and I never even got a chance to use it in like 7, 8 years, a long time. I never used it. I was very sad about it. Well, actually, great news. One of the developers lately has been completely off the rails. Henrik. He's going crazy on Twitter. Henrik. So if you watch the videos, you probably know by now that Henrik is one of the developers who has been doing a ton of work, putting in so many hours working on the new terrain. The 1.18 terrain is beautiful, of course, but it could always be more beautiful, you know? Look at this picture right here. This is amazing. Alright, so keep that picture in mind and then take a look at this picture. And perhaps this picture as well. Out of all of the Minecraft news drops that I've talked about in recent weeks, instead of posting guide episodes, this is potentially the biggest one. Look at this right here. A Tesla. Teslas are coming to Minecraft. Not only is it going to be super clean, it's also going to be really fast too. A 0 to 60 time under 5 seconds. That's some good stuff. Also, we won't hear it coming, which is pretty cool. So anyways, back to being off the rails. Henrik, he cannot be stopped. Even more days ago, this past, I think it was actually Friday, Henrik also tweeted some other pictures. These pictures are pictures. I've taken it upon myself, for you, to fully and completely, legally download these pictures so we can analyze them. Look at this terrain right here. Does this look familiar to you at all? Like, just take it in. The floating island is beautiful. All of this land right here. Like, think about this spot right here, or maybe even this spot right here, or even maybe just like all of this right here, or even potentially this spot right here. Like, think about it all. Take it all in. Maybe even the land over here. I'm not too sure. Just like take it all in. Like every single piece of it, okay? All right. Moving on. Next picture. This one's a whole work of art, like it belongs in a museum. Every single thing about this thing, the mountain peaks up at the top, so good looking. The caves cutting through, I love to see it, it's really, really interesting. The side profiling of some of these cliffs off in the side, the snow in the front, that makes no sense. Like, isn't this all meant to be warm? This thing in the back, whatever you call it, like, it looks really, really good.
Hoodoo.
It's a hoodoo. The thing is literally called a hoodoo. no, like really, like this thing, it's not a meme. Like, that's what it's literally called. I learned that a few days ago. But you don't have to take it from me. After all, I'm just a YouTuber. That's fine. I get it. I understand. It's fine. You can take it from this woman right here, standing next to a hoodoo. That's the literal name. Everything about this screenshot is so good looking. Like, it's all, like, really, really amazing looking. Side note, I feel like I have a tendency to sometimes overlook the really, really obvious things, but the striping inside of this mesa right here is so consistent. Like, it goes from right here all the way over to the other side, like over here, and it's, like, even the whole time. Is that how it always is and always has been? Like, have I just always not noticed this, that the striping is like the same everywhere? Uh-oh. Anyways, awkward. So moving on. Final picture right here. This one is really, really good looking too. Obviously not as good as the Badlands picture, but it's good looking. Like, this is very solid. Crazy Generation 2. Crazy, all of it's crazy. Some said it could never be done, but we've done it. We've made it past the analysis, the image breakdown part of this video. It's very good, making solid progress. But what do all of these images mean? We've taken a look at 2 pictures that Henrik tweeted last week and then one that he tweeted literally yesterday. What could all of this mean and why were they so insane looking? Well, you see, the answer is pretty simple here, potentially. But not only is the answer pretty simple, it's an answer that we've gotten without having to at the developers relentlessly, even a single time. It's amazing. These images mean something gigantic, but even better, these images mean life. The most beautiful thing. Because of our valiant and tireless efforts, or because the developers maybe changed their mind on something, Amplified Generation might be staying. Based off of what we know, at least Henrik, most likely more of the developers too, over the past week have been experimenting with amplified terrain, but not just experimenting with it in 1.18, the new improved amazing terrain. Take that and amplify it? Oh, it's a literal dream. This isn't a confirmation that Amplified is back, but it's definitely a promising sign. Really, this is like the singular best piece of information that I heard all weekend. This is such good news. I mean, look at this world right here. Completely random 1.17 Amplified world, and it just looks so good. Like, the terrain is crazy, insane. Definitely very dangerous world spawn. Like, mobs could definitely spawn over there and will once they start moving, but like, so good. It's such a unique, different feeling. Oh, look, and it's not only mobs we need to worry about because lava is pouring down here too now. Yeah, that's a dangerous start for sure. But at the same time, it's really cool. Doesn't make any sense at all, definitely not, but it's so nice. It definitely wouldn't be an understatement to say at minimum, I've been sad about amplified terrain leaving forever in 1.18. Now it looks like it might not, which is a really, really good thing. It's kind of weird to say, it feels really strange, but 1.18, I mean, it's a big update. But at the same time, it's kind of small. Like, I mean, honestly, if you think about what was added to the game in 1.17, all of those blocks, copper, just like everything, and then you take a look at what is coming to the game in 1.18, like, don't get me wrong, the stuff is really, really big. Terrain is a massive thing, and clearly, it's taken a lot of work. It's not an easy thing to do, of course. It's an entire generation system. But I mean, you know, aside from, well, I guess aside from, like, everything, aside from how everything looks, 1.18 it doesn't really add, like, a bunch of new blocks or anything like that. The blocks already came in 1.17. Whether you end up using it or not, the amplified world option making it into the final cut of the 1.18 update is actually an amazing thing, for a couple different reasons too, including unique. I mean, I don't even need to say it, like, just look at this. When have you ever seen terrain this interesting and bizarre in a survival world? The closest thing would be Shattered Savannah, and it's not even close at all. You've never seen terrain this unique and insane in a normal survival world. I touched on it a little bit in yesterday's video, but you feel tiny. Like, everything feels so small. I'm not sure if it really translates into the videos very well, but standing on the ground in here, like looking around at these mountains, insanely tall in survival, you just feel so small. Right now, I'm at 124, and the land, like, goes all the way up there, probably well into the 200s. Like, yeah, you feel tiny, and then this village over here sitting in this small area feels completely tiny. I mean, definitely, for sure, don't get me wrong here, the buildings that the villagers have built are by no means, like, the tallest thing in the world, but they feel even smaller when the mountains and the terrain get so insane. It's a really unique feeling. And not only is it really unique, but like I was saying, 1.18, ironically enough, is kind of a smallish update. People have been able to play with the 1.18 things like Azalea, not Azalea Wood, definitely not Azalea Wood. But you know, things like copper, goats, other caves and cliffs features, we've had them in the game for a long time now. With so many features that we've already had in the game, even when the intended update finally finishes off, like 1.18 with all of the caves and the cliffs, the features aren't going to feel new at all. So more things in the update is definitely a good thing. When compared to normal survival, Amplified is a whole different experience. When compared to current survival, 1.18 is a completely different experience. Personally, I think it would be awesome to get to experience 1.18, adapt to the new terrain, get used to it, and then after you're used to it, maybe level things up if you wanted to Amplified survival. Amplified is a completely different beast. I've never had a long-term survival Amplified world, but from what I have played of Amplified, the experience is completely different. Like, you have to literally consider how you're actually going to get around inside of these worlds way more than you normally would. Like, do I want to go over that way? What's on the other side of the mountain? If I'm going to do that, I need to plan for it. Like, get a bunch of blocks so I can tower up and like, get around and actually dig up. And yeah, what I'm trying to get at is everything is completely different in Amplified. You need to think way more about things that you don't normally think of. The Amplified survival experience is completely different than the normal one, especially early game when you're not exactly thriving. Having Amplified world option in 1.18 will give players more things to do while we wait for 1.19. So big asterisk on this one. It's still not clear at all if Amplified will actually come to Bedrock or not, but maybe. I feel like there's a pretty solid chance that it would. If the developers are looking at the idea of implementing Amplified into 1.18, like they are right now, and the developers care about update parity, like they do nowadays, cancel and delay the bundle because it doesn't work on Bedrock, I feel like it's a pretty decent call. It would be a safe guess to say Amplified has a chance to make it onto Bedrock. Bedrock players, after all of these years patiently waiting, being able to finally experience the insaneness of Amplified terrain, really, it's a win-win for everyone. Amplified is so crazy, it's really, really interesting. However, big asterisk on this one because Bedrock is like 50 different things. It's like Switch, tablets, you know, like a lot of different things. Amplified is intensive, like it requires a lot. I can see this stuff basically imploding some old iPhone 3, so maybe it doesn't make it a Bedrock. But let's be hopeful, it feels better. Amplified potentially making it into 1.18 could mean Bedrock players finally get to experience Amplified after waiting for so long. That's such a good thing. Another thing that I touched on in yesterday's video, and another reason that it's amazing that Amplified might actually make the 1.18 cut, is because Amplified is so unique and nostalgic feeling. Minecraft used to make no sense at all. Like, the terrain was crazy in earlier versions. Amplified comes pretty close to it. I mean, I guess actually Amplified takes it like 5 steps further. But yeah, Amplified makes no sense at all. Amplified is really, really nostalgic to me at least, because it just feels like old Minecraft. Keeping that old Minecraft touch in modern Minecraft with the new amazing terrain that makes a whole lot more sense, I think is a good thing. Now, clearly, Amplified, I'm not saying that the stuff is just like early alpha versions and things like that. Like, it's not at all. But overall, it feels like it makes a whole lot less sense. Like earlier Minecraft. It's definitely a feeling that shouldn't be lost. I think it has charm. With the current terrain, 1.17, and everything that's existed before, Amplified has always been amazing. Like, this stuff is crazy looking, really, really interesting. Take this stuff, pair it with the even better terrain of 1.18, and you get things that are most likely going to end up being even more shocking and crazy looking than ever before. It's a really cool concept. Could potentially bring a brand new challenge to survival, or at minimum, just be interesting to look at. So there are a couple final things that I wanted to mention about Amplified and 1.18 and stuff like that, but I just couldn't really fit it into the video anywhere. Amplified does not have to run good. It's not meant to run good. It's not for everyone. Like, Amplified is just crazy, insane terrain. If the stuff cannot be optimized fully, I think it's fine. Like that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Amplified right now is insanely laggy. It's not good. I mean, I definitely feel like standards should always be improving. Just because something was laggy in the past doesn't mean things should be laggy now. Like, always improve for sure. But at the same time, I feel like everything doesn't need to have this insanely, impeccably high standard of quality that, like, performs smoothly on everything. Like, Amplified is intense. It's just going to be laggy, and that's fine. And also, I feel like there is an alternate option. I don't know exactly how complex it would be, but if the developers decide that amplifying 1.18 terrain just isn't good at all, doesn't work or something, why not keep current amplified in 1.18? Like, it's just 1.17 terrain that's insane. I mean, after all, this stuff is completely unlike any other Minecraft terrain. Why not, like, literally just keep this world option in 1.18 and it just uses 1.17 terrain? I don't know if that would be a problem or if it would be insanely difficult or what. I'm not a developer. I don't make this stuff. But, like, why not, right? Like, I would think it would work. Like, I mean, clearly the current system already exists. I mean, I'm using it right now. Like it's real. Like, why not just keep the current system in the update and update everything else? I don't know. Hopefully, we end up finding out a little bit more information about all of this potential 1.18 amplified stuff in a brand new snapshot. Also, hopefully, tomorrow. That's going to be it for today's video. If you made it to this point, thank you. Appreciate it. Patron gang, Schneebsy, Fish in a Beanie, Austin V. Thank you all so much for the support. Leave a like on this video. Maybe comment something down below if you're feeling really spicy to help support the 1.18 amplified mission. Links are all in the description, including my Twitter and my Twitch. Check it out, check it out. I'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye.